Hi everyone, just so you know, I will be cutting this video into two parts because YouTube has been cutting me off from videos past 9 minutes. So the book I read for my book report is titled Parenting Out of Control, Anxious Parents in Uncertain Times by Margaret Nelson. So the 10 terms and concepts I used from the textbook are social class, middle class, working class, life chances, upper class families, labor force, service sector, role overload, spillover, and responsive workplace. So Nelson explores how parents are seemingly hovering over their young children more than ever before. I was immediately compelled to this due to my mom being one of these types of parents, and I was very interested in learning the reasoning and analysis behind this parenting style. No Playpen is the title of this book's introduction, and Nelson points out that elite parents worry about the safety of their children constantly. She also notes that these elite parents tend to hover over and monitor their children very closely. Next, Nelson mentioned an interaction she had with a colleague who works in the Career Counseling Center for a university. Her colleague said how students who graduate are very immature and have to still consult with their parents about everything. She also mentioned how parents call every day, questioning what exactly she is doing for their child. So I found this very funny and very true, for the main reasoning being that I work at SA. As many of you guys know, it's in the campus center. We sell bus tickets, and I would say an average of like 2 calls a day. Parents will call and say, oh, how much is a bus ticket? Can my daughter come buy it? Can she use my credit card? And I'm like, your daughter or son is like 18, 19, 20. Why aren't they making this phone call by themselves? So this type of parent is actually known as a helicopter parent, or in other words, a mother or father who hovers over a student of any age. While reading this, truthfully, I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, this is my mom, exactly. Not to say that she would be one to call SA, but she would be one where I would have to call her if I need to get a shot or something, and if I didn't consult with her about that prior, she would not be very happy. Moreover, recent studies show that children away at college do have a lot of contact with their parents. The National Survey of Student Engagement, which obtains on an annual basis information from hundreds of four-year colleges and universities nationwide, reported data from 2007 shows that 86% of first-year students have frequent contact with their mothers, as well as 71% having frequent contact with their fathers. A second study reports that college-aged children communicate on average with their parents over 10 times a week through various forms of communication, such as email, text, or call. So I found this last statistic to be a little underestimated, at least for myself. So I decided to check my call log on how many times I spoke to my mom yesterday. We exchanged 10 calls, 10 texts, 4 calls, and 6 emails. So, like, this seems like a lot, but I don't really think it is. I'd probably be like, oh, like, Mom, I did this, like, blah, 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 just little things. Likewise, the study suggested that both parents and children initiate communication equally, which I do agree with. Next, Nelson looked at parenting styles in terms of social, cultural, and technological changes. She compares the professional middle class parents with those from the middle and working class. So, to state it simply, class matters for success. And before getting into the differences between social class, Nelson stressed this next point I'm about to say. Every single parent with whom her and her research assistants spoke to expressed concern about his or her child's educational future, and every single parent expressed hope that his or her child would go on to some form of education after high school. However, social class does play a huge role in educational experience and educational performance. Social class is defined as an ordering of all persons in a society according to their degrees of economic resources, prestige, and privilege. Nelson focuses on 3 main social classes: the professional middle class, the middle class, and the working class. And Nelson defines the professional middle class as people with educational credentials beyond a bachelor's degree and who hold a professional occupation. Sherlyn defines the middle class as families whose connection to the economy provides them with a secure, comfortable income and allows them to live well above the substance level. Nelson noted that those who she spoke to that were in the middle class had not gone higher than a bachelor's degree and held semi-professional occupations such as a police officer or high school teacher. The working class is defined as families whose income can reliably provide only for the minimum needs of what other people see as a decent life. Nelson also noted that none of these people who she spoke to that were in the working class had bachelor's degrees. They generally held occupations similar to a sheet metal worker or a stay-at-home mom or something like a teacher's aide. Privileged parents do, in fact, take many precautions to ensure a bright future for their children. They believe that their child has boundless potential and must therefore control every aspect of their child's lives, ensuring that they reach their potential. The professional middle class does have many advantages from simply being knowledgeable. They get their children tested for disabilities, as well as have the money to place them in a school that can fit their child's needs, which a working class may not have the luxury to do. Second, most parents desire that their children have a better education other than public school. Most professional middle-class parents admitted that they sent their children to private school to make sure that they will get into a top college, along with having peers that are similar to them. Next, Nelson discusses the hard choices among the non-elite. Many sociologists agree that income and wealth are core concepts of the ordering of social class. However, sociologist Max Weber added another standard known as life chances. And life chances is defined as the resources and opportunities that people have to provide themselves with material goods and favorable living conditions. Non-elite families do not have all the advantages of upper-class families. Upper-class families are defined as families that have amassed wealth and privilege that often have substantial prestige as well. Advantages of these families include testing, private schools, safe neighborhoods, and extracurricular activities. Less privileged families are often concerned about financial burdens and often must make hard choices when attempting to secure success for their children in the future.